Hey guys, it's Sandy. I forgot to film an intro to this video, so I'm just doing it now as I'm editing, so excuse the quality. But I wanted to say some things before you guys see how I do my nails. So first off, I've never been to nail school. I'm not a nail tech by any means. I have learned everything on my own just by watching YouTube videos or like from every time I go to the salon. I do know that some of the things I do aren't necessarily correct, but they work for me. There are some things that I obviously do need to improve. And the reason I started doing my own nails is because I've loved doing like nail art and that kind of stuff since I was like in 4th grade. And I didn't want to have to spend like $50 every 2 weeks to get my nails done. So I decided why not do my own nails. And this has been such a money saver, like I said. Like I think I spent a total of like $240 on all of my things, including tips for my nails, an e-file or electric file if you don't know what that is, a UV lamp. And those are all things that you don't need. Like if you don't want to use tips or you don't want to use an electric file or a UV lamp, it's even less money. For me, that's the equivalent of going to the salon 6 times where I used to go, and now I still have all the extra stuff to do my nails several more times for free. And I think I had like 6 colors of dip when I first started, and that was included in the $240. Now I have spent more money buying more colors, but I've still already like paid it off. And it's not just about wanting to do my nails and spend less money. It's very therapeutic and it's very fun because you can even do designs or put jewels or butterflies or anything you want on your nails and you can say you did them. And I've been doing my nails since I think last October. So it's almost been a year, and a lot of people compliment me saying that my nails look really good, and I tell them that I do them myself. And also, I did not love how these nails turned out, but I really wanted to just upload this video. I feel like I was so focused on like getting the angles and the lighting and everything for the video. I literally didn't even realize that when I did my jewels on my ring fingers, I did them in the same direction instead of doing it in opposite directions for each finger. I promise I do better nails than that. Like I'm gonna insert pictures of nails that I've done in the past that are definitely neater than this job that I did. If you're a nail tech or you know how to do nails, feel free to leave me comments about like how I can improve or like tips to help me with my dip. There are some things that like I do know I need to change. Like I don't file my tips and my nails with an e-file, which I know is way faster. I just haven't gotten the hang of it, so I really need to learn how to do that. And I'm going to leave a link to every single thing that I use in the video. Almost everything is from Amazon. And I'm also going to leave a few of my favorite Etsy shops that make dip powders down below because it's always great to support small businesses, and there's some really, really good ones out there and they're really cheap. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say. So now let's get into me actually doing my nails.
So the first thing I like to do is just take off anything that I have in my nails, so I just use nail polish remover and cotton balls and just wipe it off. Before I prep my nails, I like to measure each tip to find the right size for each nail. So the brand I like to use is the BT Art Box nails that you can get on Amazon. And like you can see, the way I measure them is just by placing the tip on my nail and then switching them out until I find the right size for each nail. Now I can start prepping my nails, so the first thing I like to do is push back my cuticles with the cuticle pusher. And then I go in with a cuticle cutter and just cut off any hangnails or anything I need to take off. And then I buff my nails. And you don't see me filing them, which I would do before I buff them just because I did that off camera. Now before I glue on the tips, I do have to do a little adjusting to some of them. Since some tips are a little too big, I have to shave down the sides with a file, and then just to make sure it fits correctly, I put it back on my nail so that I know I don't have to make any more changes. Next, I'm going to glue on my tips by brushing on the nail glue only on the end of the tip and then putting pressure on my nail to secure it in place. Once I'm done gluing them on, I use a nail clipper to cut all of the tips to the length I want. I did this off camera just so that I could focus more to make sure that all of my nails were even. Now I'm filing and shaping the tips. So first I like to file my tip into my nail until it's somewhat blended, and then I go in with the buffer to make sure my nail is fully blended with the tip. Then I'll go back in with the file and just shape the nail. And I definitely still need more experience with blending my tips, and I do want to learn how to use an e-file to do it. But for now I just use my file, which works fine. It just takes more time. Now before I dip my nails, I do need to prime them, and what this does is basically just dehydrate the nail so that the dip can really stick to it. And you can apply this as messy as you want because the nail is just going to soak all of it up. But if you are using tips like me, make sure to only apply it to your natural nail. Now moving on to the fun part. So first you need to apply your nail base as evenly as you can, then slowly dip your finger into the powder, and something I like to do is twist the jar a little bit to make sure I get it around my entire nail. Then slowly remove your finger from the jar and brush off the excess powder. I like to tap my finger before I brush off the powder so that I don't have to brush off as much later. And you do want to make sure you wait around 15 seconds before brushing off the extra powder because the dip is still drying, so if you don't wait long enough, you could ruin your nail. And don't worry if the first layer doesn't look great, the next coat will look normal. Now the dip I'm using today is the Revel Nail Dip Powder, and it's in the color Lush. And I love this brand just because it's one of the most affordable brands I've found, especially for when you're just starting to learn how to do dip and you don't want to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of different colors. There are also a lot of great Etsy shops that sell really affordable dips as well. And depending on the color dip I'm using, I will do 2 to 3 layers of the dip to make sure that it's as pigmented as I want. And I did speed up the video after showing you the first layer just so that it doesn't get very boring, but I did leave my pinky in the regular speed just so you can see how the dip builds with each layer. Now this next step is optional, but I wanted to add some jewels to my nails, so I decided to do a little flower design. So to make them stick, all I did was just applied a little bit of the nail base to where I wanted the jewel to go, and then I used the applicator to place it where I put the nail base. And I did use a smaller jewel size for the petals that surround the silver jewel or the center of the flower, just to make the center pop more. And for the other 2 flowers, I just played with the placement until I liked where they were. And I got the jewels from Amazon, which also came with the jewel applicator, which I'll link down below. Next, just to make sure the jewels don't fall off of my nails, I like to set them with a layer of clear dip before applying any top coat. Now I apply the gel activator to my nails, which just hardens and cures the dip so that I can easily buff my nails to prepare them for a top coat. Next, I file and buff my nails to perfect the shape and get rid of any bumps or texture the dip may have created. I first like to use my e-file, then I buff them, and then file the sides to touch up the shape. And finally, the last step is to apply the top coat. Most dip brands do sell a top coat that you can use, but I personally like to use a UV one because I feel like it gives a more glass-like finish. And the brand I use is Mia's Secret, and I cure my nails in a UV lamp for about 1.5 minutes. And that's it for how I do my dip nails at home. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a thing or two about how to do your own nails. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Bye guys!